It's now 1 year since Russia started military action in Ukraine. The war has displaced millions of people, caused thousands of deaths, over $100 billion worth of infrastructure damage, and sent gas prices sky high here in the US.
What is that? $4.39? Oh my goodness.
Okay, I know that doesn't really compare to losing your home and loved ones, but we notice. Anyway, my point is the Ukraine war is expensive. And in this video, we are going to work out just how expensive. We are going to go into detail on how much money the US has sent into Ukraine since the war began. In general, people in the US support aiding Ukraine.
I'm sending Congress a supplemental budget request. It's going to keep weapons and ammunition flowing without interruption to the brave Ukrainian fighters.
But there is growing skepticism on whether the money is being used effectively.
Calling for an audit of every single penny that has been sent to Ukraine.
And whenever money is involved, things get complicated. This is dirty money.
Your money is not charity. It's an investment in the global security.
That is the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky selling the US on an investment that costs billions and billions of dollars. And the US has certainly stepped up to the table, with Ukraine becoming the top recipient of US aid. And it's the first time a European country has held the top spot since the Truman era, when the US helped rebuild Europe after World War II. Now, although the US government has a habit of announcing aid packages in units of 1 or 2 billion at a time, these aid packages, big and small, really add up. $113 billion was appropriated by Congress for Ukraine in 2022, although this will be spread over several years. According to the Kiel Institute for World Economy, from January 24, 2022 to January 15, 2023, the US poured over $76 billion into Ukraine. That is a figure comparable to the military budgets of many industrialized countries, like the UK, for example, which is already one of the highest in the world. Although not all that money has gone to military equipment. So let's actually break it down and see where all that money went. First of all, we have humanitarian aid. That was $3.9 billion, the smallest category. That includes things like food, safe drinking water, and medical supplies for people in Ukraine and refugees fleeing the country. Then we have financial aid. This is to, quote, ensure the Ukrainian government can continue to meet the critical needs of its citizens and provide basic services as it confronts Russia's continued aggression. The now famous quote about the US picking up the tab for Ukrainian pensions would fall into this category.
It's going to allow pensions and social support to be paid to the Ukrainian people so they have something in their pocket.
Then we have $46 billion in military aid split between 3 different programs. In terms of military hardware, the US has already sent 1,700 military Humvees to Ukraine. These start at $160,000 per Humvee for the fully armored version and can cost more depending on what weapons and other options are added. The US has also sent Mi-17 helicopters. These were originally intended for use in Afghanistan, and the funny thing is, they're actually Russian-made. Yes, the US bought them from Russia and is now shipping them to Ukraine to fight Russia. Then there is ammunition, radar systems, drones, Abram tanks that apparently won't arrive until next year because the army doesn't have any to spare, and 1 Patriot missile battery. This is an advanced ground-to-air missile system that consists of a radar system on board a truck and a battery of missiles. 1 unit of this system costs $1 billion, and each missile costs around $4 million. So if you're wondering how this could all add up to $76 billion, there's a major line item right there. All this military aid was adding up to around $130 million a day throughout 2022. But how do we know all this equipment is going to the right place? For example, we supplied 1,700 Humvees to Ukraine, but we don't have the best track record of ensuring our Humvees remain in the hands of the country we gave them to. And this is a very big worry. The Wall Street Journal criticized one mid-2022 aid package for having, quote, relatively small sums for inspectors of the State Department and US Agency for International Development to conduct additional oversight activities. The US government is relying on the Ukrainian government telling them that funds and equipment have been used as intended. What could go wrong? The journal quotes John Sopko, the Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction, saying, "A couple of years from now, you're going to be reading stories about waste, fraud, and abuse." Senator Chuck Grassley wrote to the State Department with similar concerns. Any tax dollar lost to waste, fraud, or abuse is a dollar that cannot be used to effectively fend off the Russian advance on Ukrainian territory. The Department of Defense has admitted in a report that it is unable to provide what they call end-use monitoring, i.e. tracking weapons and equipment by their serial numbers all the way to the battlefield. So in other words, they're giving a load of weapons to Ukraine, but they're not exactly sure where they're going or to who. Again, what could go wrong? If we have people over here in the US using COVID relief money to buy Lamborghinis, then what are the chances that money sent halfway across the globe to one of the most corrupt countries in the world with no way to monitor it is going to end up being spent on things it shouldn't? Probably pretty high. But don't worry, Biden went over there a few days ago and he found one of our dollar bills on his way up the stairs to Air Force One. Okay, that was a joke, but what do you guys think? Should we be sending money to Ukraine? Is it a good use of tax revenues? Or is it dirty money? Please leave your comments below and subscribe for new financial documentaries every Monday and Thursday.